track of time there. I'm in the middle of a construction war zone right now, unfortunately. So I've got one player who was blocked from banned from the stream and created a new account. Now another player who is challenging me to the wrong time control. If you guys would like to play, please challenge me to 5+3. I'm running about 5 minutes late here. Sorry, but I don't accept challenges, alright, from people who were previously banned under different accounts. No, you're not gonna play under a different account. It's ridiculous. Alright. That other player has unchallenged, so we're not doing well with challenges here. You have to have an account that was not previously banned on my stream, and also have 100 rated games, and also challenge me to 5+3. What's up, Astrobait? If our 10+5 guy could re-challenge me, that would be fine. We played him in the simul, but that's too long. That's impossible. So this guy has another account he's challenging me with. Dude, I'm gonna report you, seriously, for multi-accounting. Why are you harassing me? I don't want to play you or any of your accounts. So, let's get it started. Play. Create a game. No trolls, please. And this guy, what happened? He moves already? Knight c6. My correspondence games. Play lobby. You're like revealing your multiple accounts, which is against lichess rules, among other things. Alright. Casual 5-0. That's gone. 5+2 casual. Gone. 3+0 too fast. Whatever. Everything is under construction in my building. It's a nightmare. The apartments, all the apartments on the floor below me. The roof next to me on both sides. There are basically 4 construction projects taking place right outside my apartment. It's a disaster. Damn, dude, is Esterman ever not streaming? Does he do like 24-hour streams? Jeez. That guy needs to get a life. Alright. 3+0. Astrobait. Let's play, come on. So. Real challenges, please, 5+3. No trolls, no one that's been banned from my stream before. For being abusive. No, it doesn't matter if you created a new account. I'll just forget about it if you created a new account. Is that what's up? Why does everybody play this? Damn, Astrobait. When did you start playing this, too? You're playing the Rogozin Queen's Gambit. Since when do you play this? Need to stick to the repertoire. Stick to your repertoire. You played some good Caro-Kann games lately. This is like you suddenly started playing the Queen's Gambit Declined with black one day, which you've never played in your life. You're now playing it with white. Or some kind of Queen's Gambit with bishop b5, bishop b4. Is the stream good? We've got stream title Blitz Challenges to subs and viewers on lichess.org. Dropping a pawn with check? Not exactly. There's a sneaky threat here. I mean, I could take, but I'm going to lose material back. I think we need to play this. If I take on f3, he takes with the queen. I play bishop h2 check, he plays king h1. And my knight's pinned, and white's threatening knight takes d5, as well as g3, trapping my bishop on h2. So there would be double threats. But now he has knight e5, actually, yeah. So the position is quite complicated. Masturbate adapting to his environment. Man, I have no idea what's going on here. That's an unbelievable move. You've never played this before. Where is this coming from? I mean, you played knight f3, but not knight c3. I mean, you literally never played this before. You've been hanging out with Cheesy Noob or something? I don't understand. You had queen h3 there, and you didn't play it. The question is why? Wow. I mean, that was an interesting position. Now you're going to lose, simply. I think I was in trouble. Maybe in trouble. Yeah, now you're busted. But if you stop to think for a second, your genius position was probably good. Now we have a challenge. Is this another camel culture? Thank God. I was like waiting for the third account from the same troll again. It's a real person actually challenging me. Alright. Whoa, we're on knight c5. So we go straight from Aspid. Check this out, man. You've never played this before. A lot of people play this. What is this? I want to know what this is. This is fine. Why do I get this every day? Jacob Meister, some random grandmaster from Germany, but I get this like every day. Who is like teaching people to play this setup with white? It's so strange. There's 3 games. I mean, I must have like 20 games from this position on lichess in my playing history. It's so weird. Same exact position the other day against oh, your friend from Austria. We're only getting players from the US, Western states. Thanks for the challenge, Camel Culture. Good to see you. The Western states open. Alright, no Caro-Kann. Enough Caro-Kann. I'm trying to mix it in, but I played a little too much. It's kind of passive, you know? I don't want to become like a Caro-Kann player in nature. Bishop e5, that's what everyone plays. It's kind of like the same thing. I had that yesterday. I had a Sozin yesterday too. Okay, Goblin Pawn Shop. Another real player. Nah, 3-0 won't fly here. It's bullet chess. I don't want to do 3-0. Axerarch. I guess knight a5 is also a move there. Which is better? That's a good question, I don't know. The answer to... So he's basically playing a Fischer Sozin with my queen on c7. I've never loved this line. The last time I had it in a tournament game was like 2009. I lost this guy, Varadi Victor. But I think black is fine here if he knows what he's doing. F4. Now you could transpose to a normal Sozin Fischer with castles kingside. Well, white will castle kingside in most cases, though there is queen f3. Actually, that's something my friends have played against me. That's what Varadi Victor played. I lost a bad game. I don't know this line well enough. Now, f5 early. I've actually probably played that with white. I think I actually have this game against Alexander Ivanov with white. Although f5 may be too early there. I think I would normally have played it like after both sides were castled. This position I probably never had. Where both kings were still uncastled, actually. Because I can take on f5. I mean, what's happening here? Camel Culture played it kind of quickly f5. You know, maybe a pawn sack, but the move that really scares me is queen f3. That's known. So castles transposes to games I've had, castle, but this I'm not getting. I'm take. I realize the d5 square is a nice square, but I can't have you murdering me. For free. Generally, like, my advice to people who play the Sicilian is queen c7 is not a great move in these Sozins. And definitely not a move you want to play all the time. It's good against a Velimirovich. But this is not a Velimirovich. So I end up with some problems with my move order when people do stuff like Camel Culture. Now, do we go to e6 or g6? Or play g6? G6 is out of question. So it's bishop e6 or bishop g6. Possibly, you could play queen d7 or something. My original plan was to play bishop e6. That makes the most sense, right? Trying to combat the bishop on b3. We have a positional pawn sacrifice by white. Five challenges now. We have to keep an eye on these challenges. I don't want to see anybody who's not got 100 games. Bishop takes d5 or knight takes d5. Knight takes. He actually has queen takes g7. No, then I would just castle. He has to recapture. I mean, I think he has pretty good compensation here. You know, maybe enough. It's kind of like a Mora gambit. How about bishop f6? It's a good way to what? Well, it's risky. Bishop f6, rook f6, queen f6 looks like a strong exchange sack. So I think I have to take here. Castling kingside is recommended. 2 out of 3 dentists recommend castling kingside. And white has compensation. My weak pawn on d6. It's like a standard sort of like Mora gambit. It's not a Mora gambit because you have a c pawn, but I don't know how else to compare it to something. My extra pawn doesn't matter too much here. It should probably be... If white's careful, he should be alright. Like, alright, if you were a grandmaster playing in a tournament with black, you would claim like you're better. But I mean, realistically, I know better than that, you know? I'm up a pawn. It's not really enough. Alright, this though... I hope you guys enjoy the construction as much as I do. This bishop d4 is pretty mean. Gotta be careful. Queen c2. So I'm thinking queen c6. Get the hell out of the center, dude. That queen is just... Look at centralization. Take on c2, take on b7 leaves white with good play. I could consolidate this extra pawn and just be better, but my instinct is that white is okay. Still, I wouldn't play like him with white. f5 was inaccurate. He gave away his advantage. Although, you know, it's funny, like, this Sozin isn't really regarded as a great system for white by modern theoreticians. I know because I played it. Kind of out of fashion. I mean, really, since Fischer, since like the 80s. The only reason I played the Sozin is because I studied like these old books that I had from that era. For example. Alright. I feel like I'm home in the United States and people are doing landscaping. It used to drive me nuts. That's a chainsaw you hear outside. They're chainsawing pieces of the roof off of my building. It's wonderful and very fun to listen to. That bishop on f6, man. It's just... It's not nice. Lateral defense program. We have some ideas. This is such a monster piece on d4. If I get rid of it, alright, we're slightly better. If you could magically make the bishops disappear, I would be clearly better. However, even so, white has tiny development lead and better structure. 2440 opponent. It's that or acerbate. I go from 1500 to 2400. Sammy Woosh is new here. What's up, Schieberspieler? You guys can check out both Camel Culture and Schieberspieler, those guys. Camel Culture occasionally streaming. Schieberspieler a little bit more lately. Now, I completely overlooked c3. I feel like an idiot. How did I miss that you had that move? I would not play queen b4 if I had realized. Such a stupid move. It's just a draw. Italy won. I mean, I think football seems sort of stupid, though. It's kind of like the penalty shootouts. It just doesn't feel right, you know? It's like bullet chess, honestly. It doesn't feel like you really won, or it's like a blitz. It's like a blitz playoff in the World Chess Championship. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel right. You know, that's not the way it should be. Was like European football always decided like that? I don't know the history of it. Queen f7, rook f7. It's so sick. He actually has queen f7, rook f7, rook e8 with mate. Oh my god. That is so sick. If rook d2, queen f7 mate. I mean, back in the day, did they just keep playing, is my question? Like, say, 50 years ago? Alright, whatever. It's a draw. I don't think I was ever winning. Samuel Skinner said there was the golden goal some years back. It just feels to me like when you take a world championship chess match, you know, played in classical time control, and then you like, okay, Magnus gets to play Blitz now for the title because the match is tied. It's very kind of cheap, you know? I didn't really care who wins, but... Alright, Camel Culture. I was winning somehow. Wow. What did I miss? What? What? Oh, I could have just played rook takes b2. I'm an idiot. I could have just played rook takes b2. You didn't have to allow that. B-Jock, honestly, before we start shouting about racist countries, there are a shitload of countries full of racists in the world. They're all over the place. I live in a few of them. Goblin, Pawn Shop, Braid Lazarus, Sardai. Welcome to the United States. I mean, I don't even want to get into it. Read the news one day. Racism is systemic in most countries. Alright, Goblin Pawn Shop, Great Lazarus. Cheesy Noob. Alright, we got a lot of friends here. So, who is subscriber? Who is subscriber amongst you guys? Bill Skinner, thanks for resubbing. That's awesome. We have a resub from Mule Skinner. B-Jock is a subscriber. Cheesy Noob is a subscriber. What about Great Lazarus? What about Goblin Pawn Shop? I apologize for the noise. My house is being reconstructed. My building, I should say. They're tearing out part of the roof, and they did part last year. Now they're doing another part. I like how they waited to the middle of the summer when it's like 90 degrees. That was really smart. They could have done it in the spring or something. These guys that are working on my roof, they're really cool. They're very professional. Not my roof, but next door to me. It's nice when the workers are like professional. They're not like shouting like animals, like some other guys that have worked here. Your Goblin Pawn Shop, you're not subscribed. Yeah, just wait until after the subscribers. I would take your challenge first. After them, as you're first on the list. Schieberspieler tournament report. Our friend Move 11 also played. He played at the Marshall Chess Club, 1 or 2 games. The report from the Marshall Chess Club was not good. The Marshall Chess Club looks like it's not a place you want to play chess. I haven't been there since like 2003. But if anyone's looking for a job, they need a manager at the Marshall Chess Club badly. This is Cheesy Noob. 5 out of 7 for the Schieberspieler. Placing. Schieberspieler, did you get on the podium at least? I wouldn't want to be a manager at the Marshall Chess Club. It's a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. That's always been my view of New York. 3rd place. Only lost 3 ELO. And undefeated. Yeah, that tournament was unfortunately not good. Not a good field for you. Too many low-rated players. Better not to play. But, you know, it's been a long time since you could play, so. Unfortunately, there were 2 other good players, but then beyond that, everyone was extremely low-rated. It was like you're losing 3 ELO points before you walk in the door in a tournament like that, honestly. What you're paying like ELO in poker terms, you're paying ELO rake. Just playing these people. It's a disaster. You're lucky you only lost 3 rating points. What's happening here? You dropping the knight? I thought it was his turn. I was like, wait, when's he gonna play Queen B2? I don't want to play with people who are rated under 2,000 FIDE. Now, fortunately, since the rating system went under 2,000 years ago, maybe around 99, 2000, I don't know, when they changed the rules to have an expanded rating system, I don't think I've ever had a draw with someone under 2,000. But, you know, the dynamics are changing all the time. Like, there There are these people on lichess. Just saying. Yesterday I was looking at for example, I was looking at one of our subscribers' games, Someone on Sound. He played this guy on the site here, probably a kid, I don't know, who in their account, they claim they're 1450 FIDE, but their blitz rating on lichess is like 2250. See, that's scary, alright? Let's say Cheesy Noob. If Cheesy Noob is 2166 in blitz, what is his FIDE rating? Let's give Cheesy Noob an approximate FIDE rating, alright? I don't know, 1900, I'm thinking. But imagine there are people walking around who are 2250, so higher rated than Cheesy Noob, who are 1450 FIDE. Like, it's game over for your ELA rating if you play these people. I don't want to play anybody under 2000, period. I don't want to play them. I think I've played a handful of 1900s since, let's say since 2000. I've probably played like 3 people or 4. Max 5 games against people under 2000. It's just automatically losing rating points. Sumaher. Yeah, Schieberspieler had 2 bad draws, but my point is more about the rating system. You're just automatically going to lose before you walk in the door. And then you've got to like play really well to not lose rating points in a tournament like that. Yeah, that's disturbing, right? For example, the winner of the tournament lost rating points. He's paying rating tax, is what it is. We have rating poverty here. You need to go to Austria, is what you need to do, Schieberspieler. You need to play some tournaments like Graz or in the Austrian team championship or something. Go abroad, and the people there are like richer, both monetarily and in terms of ELA ratings. If you could play a tournament like the Graz Open or something like that, you could probably pick up rating points. Sumer playing the Queen's Gambit declined. Here in Hungary we have rating poverty. My tournament coming up in a week is a round robin, which is different. It's still bad for me to play an average field that's below my rating though. So I'll slowly go down to that level that I play on. If the average is 2311, slowly I'll start to play like a 2311. I'm like 2330 now. But it's not too bad. Yeah, Italy, Slovenia, you should try to play an occasional tournament if you can get out there. I just noticed that there's some people here in Hungary who play in like the Austrian Bundesliga or Austrian Team Championship, and it seems like they're always just like winning rating points every time they play. I think the richer countries are going to have higher ratings. First of all, they can afford to pay to have tournaments rated more than poorer countries. That's why everyone in India is underrated, because no one can afford to pay the fees. This is my big campaign. I'm constantly complaining about it, but it's true. If you compare Austria to like India, organizers of tournaments can afford to pay the fees to have tournaments rated. People are not underrated automatically. So remember playing the Queen's Gambit declined here. I don't think this opening fits your style. You're more aggressive by nature. He reached 2,000. I didn't realize that was a record. Interesting. He always plays like he's 2,000 against me, I think. There are also less FIDE rated tournaments in India, but why do you think there are less FIDE rated tournaments in India? Not because they don't want to have FIDE rated tournaments, man. It's just the fees are exorbitant. Even in the United States, like, local organizers are struggling to have tournaments FIDE rated. Because, like, who's supposed to pay these, like, fees? So if in the country which is as wealthy as the United States, they're struggling with paying for it. You know, imagine in a third world country or somewhere where the cost of living is much, much lower. Forget about it, you know. I'm just jealous of people with high ratings. But I don't think the rating system is operating the way it's supposed to. It's a joke, you know, it's a joke. If people on lichess are 1450 FIDE and they're 2200 in Blitz, there's something wrong there, you know. Maybe the guy's joking around. This is one account I saw, but it seems like I see it on a regular basis. Or, like, for example, man, there was this horrible game I lost against one of the Hungarian players last year with A5. It just wrecked me, bringing back memories of that. Pawn takes B5, pawn takes B4. This is not as clear as that game. Still don't really... I'm not loving it. I'd like to see FIDE just cease to exist, honestly. It's so corrupt. So if someone is 2,000 lichess, then it's like he's 1,700 FIDE. Wow, what a tactic. Knight b6. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine in that... That doesn't work, actually. I would imagine in that range... Of course, there's some fluctuation, be afraid. You know... But it shouldn't be so exaggerated. You know, there shouldn't be, like, 600, 700 points difference. My ratings, look. I'm 2450 in Blitz. I'm 2330. My rapid is... Okay, let's say my rapid... Let's compare rapid. Okay, 2500 rapid. Over the board, I'm like 2370 or something. So it's like 100, less than 150 points. Less than 200 points, around 200 points maximum. Seems fair. Another player who's like that is Antony. He just played his first tournament last year, and I think he got first place in his section as an unrated player. He didn't lose a single game. He had like 6 out of 7 against amateurs, mind you. But then his first rating is really, really low, like 1400s. He basically scored like 6 out of 7 against 1400s and then got a 1400 rating. How does that work, you know? How does that work? That's insane. He like beat the crap out of 6 out of 7 amateurs and then got a rating like comparable to that of the opponents he just demolished 6 out of 7 games. What kind of mathematical system works like that? Like, I don't understand. Above 50%. Turn performance rating is not starting rating. Yeah, I don't know. But I like the way the USCF used to do it. You would get a first rating based, approximately on your performance. Based on the performance rating. Basically, everyone comes out underrated. Is the way it seems to work. I don't know why that's good. Maybe there's some reason FIDE wants people to be underrated. There's a monetary reason behind it or something. Is that a possibility? Maybe they figure like if everyone's underrated, they'll have to pay to play in more tournaments to raise the ratings. I know that sounds kind of paranoid, but it wouldn't surprise me if they sit around the board meetings discussing ways to make money. Like, well, let's make sure their ratings aren't too high to start with, because we want them to have to pay a lot of money, in fees to play in tournaments. We don't want anybody getting like a really high rating like the first time they play. What about 2200 rated in lichess FIDE? Yeah, I mean, I would think you should be at least 1900, There are some really fast players, and it's more like time skill. At least 1800. I mean, come on. That would be the absolute minimum to be 2200. Gotta be, 400 points really is exaggerated. Now, what's happening here? We're up a piece. My rook is constantly pinned. Honestly, let's say you're 2200 on lichess. You gotta be at least 1800 over the board. I mean, it's hard to compare though, because mostly we're talking about like blitz. You started playing chess on lichess out of boredom, so you never played a real tournament or anything. And you're 2160 blitz. Yeah, so I would imagine like your international rating, blitz rating, shouldn't be, less than 300 points lower. I mean, I'm seeing examples of it, but it shouldn't really be like that. That's low enough. So if you're 2160, like in blitz here, your FIDE blitz rating should be approximately at least 1850 at the minimum. Anyway, I mean, I didn't mean to start guessing everyone's ratings, but I'm just trying to make a point. I don't even know how I got on this subject. Talking about one of the players, one of my students, he lost to a player. I was checking his games. This is how it got in my mind. I was looking at his games and I was like, wait, he just lost a blitz game to this guy. CB Frodo, it's like, guess my elo. Well, it's fun. Something to do in the car while you're driving. So what else is up? Nobody else. Let's see, we got the World Cup penalty shootout to talk about. Not World Cup, but Euros. Sorry. All right, next game. Druev goal. I feel like someone left. One of our subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing. Is Demetrius a subscriber? Do we have goal? I take the subscribers first. I just hate that I have this like shitty low rating and I want to make it higher. But I'm not going to be able to make my rating higher by playing in tournaments. We got on the subject by Schieberspieler's tournament. You know, talking about people getting back to playing over the board. Here we go again with knight takes c6. I don't understand why people play that. It's like the most fundamental Sicilian mistake. Dinakis, welcome. Thank you for being a sub. Appreciate it, guys. It's been kind of a slow week. Any support is welcome. Subscription here and there would help a lot. Again, I don't understand why people constantly do this like mistake. Knight takes c6. You were not supposed to do that with white in the Sicilian. Only under exceptional circumstances. Probably this wasn't the right moment for d5. Normally I'd be more patient and play like knight d7 or maybe rook b8. I mean, d5 is playable. Why chess is so expensive? Well, it doesn't have to be. Tennis and golf are expensive. But it doesn't seem like the organizations, you know, in charge of the sport do a lot to make it more affordable. Don't play for money. Now there's a solution. Just play in the park with your friends. We have some nice chess tables now in the city park here in Budapest. I should go out one day, start hustling. I've never tried to do like blitz hustling. I mean, 20 years ago I used to play chess for money in Boston. Take my set and I would spend days just playing blitz for money. It's been a while. Alright, we're up in exchange. He said don't play for money, and now I'm immediately thinking about different ways to play for money. I just missed the point completely. You're right, Camel Culture. Any funny experiences? I have lots of funny experiences. I feel like my funniest one was when I tried to move. I've told this story like a million times in my stream, but it was funny. My friend Charles Hurtan wrote an article about our trip to Hastings 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago. And I played this old man. He was like in his early 70s, I guess. He just looked like an old man. He wasn't that old, but he just kind of was this typical old man kind of guy. He was like a FIDE master who was maybe 70. And I was young. Still young, but at some point he just made, you know, he didn't make a move, and I thought he made a move. His queen was on e7. And I don't know, it had been there since the opening, and it was like now the early middle game. And I just was waiting forever for him to make his move. He was sitting there, the clock was running for at least 15 minutes. Maybe 20, I don't remember. It was like forever. And I was so impatiently waiting for him to make a move. Walking around, coming back, he still didn't move. Walking around, he still didn't move. That somehow I convinced myself that he made a move. I convinced myself that he moved his queen from d8 to e7. It was already on e7, but for some reason, I just thought that was his move. Okay, I sat down, I wrote down queen e7 again, and I'm sitting there thinking, and I reach out to make my move. He's like, "What are you doing?" You know, I'm like, "What?" Making my move. He's like, "You already moved." And then I like, you know, the funny part of the story really wasn't that. It was that I went on to like crush him in a beautiful game. I played a really, really good game after that and killed him. But it was just kind of funny because, you know, if your opponent doesn't even know whose move it is, I mean, seriously, are you expecting they're going to play really well after that? So Charlie basically wrote that he tried to make it sound like, you know, it was a trick. Like, I did it on purpose to make him think I was an idiot or something. It is illegal, and if you try to make an illegal move, there's a penalty. It depends on what the form of chess you're playing is. If it's blitz, an illegal move loses the game in most cases. This would be construed as an illegal move. But in tournament play, where it's like a long game, it doesn't lose the game. It's simply a time penalty. So if he had chosen to call me on it and summon the referee or arbiter, I would have been penalized. Like, he would have been awarded more time or something. I think it's like a 5-minute additional time or some kind of thing like that. But the guy, you know, he wasn't malicious. He realized I did it, you know, I didn't do it on purpose. And so he was just like, whatever, you know, we'll just forget about it. He didn't call the arbiter and say I made an illegal move. We just sort of pretended it didn't happen. That's one of my more funny stories. I've seen other crazy stuff happen. There was this one time at the U.S. Open, I saw this another old man story, but it wasn't my game, but somebody next to me, like, the guy sat down at the wrong table and started just playing somebody else's game. It was unreal. That was weird. I guess, you know, you get like people who have Alzheimer's playing still. Drivgol, you're kind of annoying me here. I have to say. If you were playing in the same OTB tournament, would you play my game? Well, I mean, a lot of people have, of course, attempted such stuff. Coaches trying to help their student cheat and stuff. I mean, that's, I'm sure, very commonplace. There was another funny story where I tried to suggest a move while the game was going on progress because I thought it was over. That was very embarrassing. I'm not the first person to do that, of course. It was like after my game was over and I was like bored and walking around. Well, the guy who was like better freaked out, came running up and like started screaming at me, and I ran outside. I ran away, like out of the playing hall, hoping that he wouldn't try to have me like kicked out of the tournament or something. I thought the game was over. It really seemed like it was over. Like, neither player was sitting at the board. One of them was like standing nearby eating a banana, and the other guy was like gone completely. It was totally innocent, you know. I was just interested in the position. I thought they agreed to a draw. I thought it was over. So I just reached out and I actually touched one of the pieces and started to suggest this move. And just in that moment, like, the other player came back. He was like, "What are you doing?" Again, nothing happened in the end, and I had to like wait outside and pray that the guy like didn't not win because of me. I think he ended up winning the game, despite my suggestion for his opponent, which was probably a good move. Those were two of my funnier. I didn't stay to see what happened. I just ran away immediately. Outside on the street in New York City. It was at the New York Open, and I was just like praying that the guy would win, and nothing would happen because of my interceding. What do you do when you're frustrated about chess? Well, I mean, I think, you should take time off from playing. Universitatea Cluj. Welcome. Defenders of the Universe. Just saying. White seems like a defender. Yes. Yes. Alright, guys. And girls. Well, I mean, you gotta go with Magnus, right? But the margin isn't that big. And honestly, after his matches against Karyakin and Caruana, I don't think that Nepomniachtchi has, say... He definitely has as good a chance as Karyakin. Maybe slightly less than Caruana, but I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like the margin is that high, but again, it comes down to this stupid... Magnus will again do the same thing where he's trying to win in faster tie breaks. He's favored again. It's like a penalty. It'll be penalties, just like the Euro, Magnus will win on penalty shots. Like always. Yeah, he's good. It's true. It will be close, and anything's possible. I'm not definitively saying, like, I would bet. I'm just saying, 60-40 Magnus. Something like that. He takes it to the rapid blitz, and then 60-40. But maybe you're right. Maybe Magnus will go for the win in regulation. It was a different match with Caruana. Alright. Caruana notoriously is not as good in fast time controls. You're making a good point, Camel Culture. Maybe Magnus will try harder in the regular games. It seemed like with Caruana, he was 100% purposefully trying to just draw the main games so he could get through to the fast games. He may take a different approach against Nepomniachtchi. That's a good point. Alright. It would be nice if we didn't have these stupid rapid playoffs, I think. Just let them play until someone wins. Alright, what do we got for subscribers? Dinekis? Cluj? Those two players are subscribers. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see Nepomniachtchi win. I don't love Magnus. I'm not a Magnus fan, but I'd rather not see someone else take the title away. Yeah, I mean, as a European resident, let's keep it in Europe. I'm behind Europe all the way. For Europe. Do it for Europe. Magnus. Bishop e2, castles. Mate f3. So let's play a classical Kings Indian. I don't like to play this in Blitz. Guys, thanks for all your challenges. I'm going to play Universitate Cluj next. We've got about an hour and 5 minutes left on my stream. This is a line I played a lot myself. Knight a6. That's my favorite. My favorite line with black, with mixed results. Kings Indian is not easy to play. And this is not common, but normally black does not play ED with knight a6, knight c5. Quite unusual. It's kind of like a Marazzi. So I'm maybe supposed to play knight b5 in this type of structure. That's what I was taught long ago. We can freeze the d6 pawn. And you can't play c6 anymore. The Averbach is a good system for white. One of the worst scores I have with black against that. I never really felt comfortable with black. It feels like the best is like the Benoni, I guess. But like most Kings Indian players, you know, you're not always comfortable. You're not always comfortable playing the Kings Indian necessarily transposing to the Benoni. Ooh, once during a tournament, your opponent claimed you touched another piece while he was threatening mate in one. That's an ugly situation, you know. That's an ugly situation when it's your word against the opponent and there's no witness. I don't think that the arbiter can do anything, right? I mean, I don't think they can rule in his favor. It's like a courtroom where it's your word against the other guy. You can't choose one person, you know. There can't be a ruling without more information. You once told your opponent to move a piece after he touched it, felt bad about it, but it was ready to game. I mean, that's standard. That happens to everybody, you know. I played like 2,000 x 100 rated games, Mule Skinner. If you play in club style tournaments, I mean, that's going to come up on a pretty regular basis. Now, he's found a way to get in c6, it looks like. Yeah, you just gotta, you can't be a nice guy about it. But it's a problem. If you say and the opponent denies it, you know, how does one player prove it without a witness? I told that's another funny story I've told a lot too. But it wasn't involving me directly. This was my friend's game. He was playing in an under 2200 section that had good prizes, and it was very competitive. And he was one of the best players in the under 2200 section, so he had a really good chance, to win a big prize. And so it was a very competitive kind of section. And what ended up happening was his opponent, this is like round 3 in the middle of the tournament, or round 4. His opponent was thinking. And so it was his opponent's time, and my friend had to go to the bathroom. So best time to go to the bathroom, obviously, is when your opponent starts to think, and hopefully you can get back before they make their move or something. So my friend got up, and he had to walk a little ways to the door, and then looked back just to see if the guy had moved, because he might be able to go back or something. And he was picking up his knight or whatever and moving it to a square. My friend decided he had to go to the bathroom so bad that he wasn't going to go back. He was going to go to the bathroom, then come back and make his move. He didn't change his mind and walk back to the board. He saw the move. He went to the bathroom. He was thinking about what his next move would be. When he came back, and you know what happened. I've told this story before, but a lot of people haven't heard it. The guy actually made his move and actually pressed the clock. I didn't add that part. He actually looked back, saw the guy pressing the clock, completing his move. Went to the bathroom for 2 minutes, came back, and the move was gone, and the clock was not pressed. And normally, you know, the really scary thing is, like, normally there'd be nothing you could do in that situation. Why didn't I play knight d5 there? It would just be your word against his word, you know. And I think this guy, who was a long time kind of hustler sort of type, normally would have lied. But the thing was, he didn't know that my friend saw him make the move. He didn't know he was watching from the doorway as he made the move, press the clock. So as soon as my friend sat down, he was like, "You played like knight c5, didn't you?" And the guy was like, floored. He couldn't imagine that he had been caught, you know, doing it. And he was so surprised, he didn't know how to respond. And then my friend was like, "Do you want to resign? Or should I get the tournament director?" The guy just resigned. He just resigned. He was like so shocked. He could have put up an argument and tried to completely lie. But he didn't. But the funny part was that the guy went on to win the section. Or at least tie for first. Which is really sad. You know? If my friend had got, like, if the guy had gotten caught, I mean, I don't know. He would have just lost the game. They won't kick you out of the tournament for that, for one incursion, probably. Maybe after more than one bad thing. But I think he would just be forfeited. So anyway, he ended up, like, winning the section. Even though he lost that game. He was, like, 6-1 or something like that. Or 5.5 out of... He probably got, like, 5.5 out of 7 and tied for first. And my friend didn't. It was funny. Alright. WJ Loof, welcome. How do you handle must-win situation? Just takes nerves. I'm good in clutch situations, usually. But again, I haven't been playing that much. When I was in my prime, I just try to concentrate and focus. Generally, I've been good. Some people play better. This is what I was talking about in regards to why, like, Hungary crashed out of, or let's say why Hungary didn't qualify for the final 16 in the Euros. They're good. They have talent, but they didn't have the nerves that a great team has in a critical situation. This is a weird move. Queen a5, we're alright. We've got that. No, knight, damn it, knight d7. Wow. Man, that sucks. I thought I was winning a5. And we've made no progress. Well, they had the most unfortunate group, but that's still what I was talking. Yesterday, I was talking about this a little. There's something special about Djokovic. We were talking about Djokovic, how the Hungarians like have talent, but they're not used to that pressure situation. Every time they had to lead, they blew it and drew with Germany. They had to lead against France, blew it and drew. They held Portugal until 80 minutes, and then they blew it and lost. You know, it seems to me that it's not a coincidence. Every time it was down to like the last 10 minutes, and the pressure was really high, they couldn't take it. You know, just saying. I'm not a football expert by any means, but I think there's something to that. You know, why does Djokovic do so well when it's like high pressure? The secret as to how they do it, you know, how Djokovic does that, he rises to the occasion every time. You know, that's special. I mean, I think it's not easy. It's not easy to tell someone how do you handle a high pressure situation. I mean, when I would play poker tournaments, I'm very good in like clutch situations. I think it brings out my intensity, but I have an immense experience. See, that's why these guys, I think it just takes time, you know. I've played 2,000, let's estimate, 2,400 over-the-board chess games. I have that much experience playing in tournaments. A lot of last round games where the prize was for money, you know. It's not like the first time you do it, you have good nerves. But after a while, you know, you get better and better at it. It takes experience. And you're not nervous as much as the next guy because you've done it a lot before. These Hungarians in the Euro, you know, I mean, they've never been in that situation much. They have talent, but not as much experience. In high pressure situations, you need to do it a lot, I think. Djokovic, how many times has he been? 20 Grand Slam finals he's won. After that, you know, you don't feel the pressure like the average person. Just another day at the office. You can concentrate. The key is to be able to concentrate like every other game, you know. You don't let it bother you. It's just another game. The best concentration I ever reached was a very high pressure game where there was, I'm not that good at it, but there was a crowd of spectators and I didn't know they were there until after the game was over. I had just completely concentrated so much that I didn't even see there was a crowd of people watching. You just like, you're in another zone. Did time slow down? I don't know, man, about time slowing down, but I was very surprised to like win the game and see a bunch of people standing there. Because I didn't recall any spectators like crowding around me at the time I was playing the game. That was a weird experience. I was just so focused, you know. That's really reaching a very, very deep level of concentration, and it's hard to do. Mubak can reply. I tried to fix it. Does it work? So Université is trading too much down material here. I don't think he should trade pieces when he's down a pawn. And he plays too fast. Like, that's my criticism almost everyone. But especially in a increment game, we can use more of our time. Okay, this was an easy game though. I just traded pieces and won a pawn. I didn't need to think too much. Yeah, Mr. Coffee. I followed your orders. WJ Loof, have you ever had any experience of losing time? Been abducted by aliens? Any some such experience? No, the other day, like, I played in a poker tournament and I lost because my concentration wasn't there. I mean, it can really depend on a lot of factors. You have to be relaxed. Like alert but relaxed at the same time. I used to see a sports psychiatrist back in the day, and at my peak, it was very, very useful. I probably reached my best ever performances when I was seeing him. It was interesting for me because I studied psychology too. I guess if I ever did anything outside of playing chess, that would have been a good career choice. Try to become a sports psychologist. Come to think of it. In martial art tournament in clutch moments, the fights would seem so slow. Yeah, that's interesting. It's related. There's no bio command. There is no bio command, CWX. So you're trying to do a command? Is there a bio command? Actually, maybe there is one. I'm saying there's not, but maybe Mr. Coffee did put in a bio command. Yeah, it is in there. I don't know, is it working? I thought I fixed it. Mr. Coffee just triggered it. What's wrong with Mubot? Mr. Coffee, is there still a problem? It's a good thing the roof construction guys are at lunch now. The chainsaw was starting to kind of disturb my once pristine concentration. I guess it's all from when they made me watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre when I was too young at baseball camp. Alright, but it's quiet here. Wow, suddenly very quiet. Too quiet. Working on concentration though, seriously. If you don't have concentration, you can't perform. I don't care if it's tennis, martial arts, chess, poker, whatever. Concentration is key. If you're being distracted by something, you're going to be in trouble. Can I play e5? Is it too early? I feel like I might be overextending myself. It feels wrong. Normally, like a one-pawn advantage is winning in a knight endgame. I'm not sure about his decision to give me a protected passer here. Right? Wrong? My instinct would be not to trade pawns. I mean, sorry, trade pawns. Whatever. To trade pawns, but don't trade pieces. He just traded pieces and didn't trade pawns. Normally, knighting games are winning like one pawn up. It's the most decisive minor piece in game. That's a lot of emotes you got there. Alright, so how do we win this? Transfer of king. This looks pretty straightforward, actually. Mr. Coffee loves cats. So you're in good with the moderator now. Mule Skinner's up next. Goblin Pawn Shop, I promise to play you. Even if it's the last thing I do. Because you've been waiting like the whole stream. Even though you're not a sub. Guys, please support the stream if you can. WJ Loof, thank you for donating 200 bits. Every little amount, you know, that you can donate counts. I can't stream for free completely. And I have to live, so every little bit is appreciated. This looks like not that easy. He has king d5. It's a strong move. We're going to have to calculate carefully here. If king e4, e6, knight f6. So I'm a little concerned here that I might have screwed this up. a4. Things are gonna get pretty funky. The whole situation is about to explode. I don't know. I think I messed this up. I shouldn't have let his king to d5. It was a bad judgment. WJ left. J left. J-Lo. WJ Loof, I wish it was more, but I'm really, really thankful that, you know, some of the people here realize I can't do it for free, and it helps. So e6. Problem is, yeah, knight f6, and I'm not sure what the heck I'm gonna do. I can go back. This was not what was supposed to happen. I badly misplayed this. I don't know. How does one make progress around here? I'm pretty angry with myself if I don't win this. I knew even when I played e5 I was unsure, but I'm certain I was winning. The real problem was letting his king on d5. Why did I do that? I just missed it. I should never play king d5. Okay, it's not that easy to win, but I should be able to get my knight to d4, like here, 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 something like that. Major blunder. Wow. King and pawn endgame is probably a draw. It's like continuously make stupid moves. Wow. This was not a well-played endgame by us. By any stretch of the imagination. And it's still not over. Destructive. Thanks, man. How not to play endgames. And I gotta stop clicking these buttons. Button clicker. 90 move ending. It was probably a draw somehow. Man, I don't know. Alright. Yule Skinner. Subscriber. Just 90 moves. We don't get many 90 move games here in Blitz. It's normal and over the board chess, maybe. It's rare that I'll get a 100 move game. Oh no, that's on Wednesday. Today. Only on Wednesdays. Sound. My knight h6 opening. Civi Frodo, are you Goblin Pawn Shop? Oh no, you're number 3. We should be able to get to these last games. The 100. Great Lazarus. Goblin Pawn Shop. I mean, I'm gonna play as many games as I can until like 10 minutes after. Yeah, you're Goblin. Cibi is Cibi. There was a guy yesterday in my simul who was Queen H5, and I was like asking, like, who's playing that game where they played Queen H5? Spam. Sorry, if I spend channel points, does that give you something? No, that's for you guys. Mr. Coffee, I should come up with something, like a betting bot, to use the channel points. Simul was good. I lost one game to a player I thought was suspicious. With very little evidence, just got instinct. And I lost to Arsenal fan with a horrible idea where I sacked a piece. And the rest of the games were interesting. Not as many draws as usual. I played pretty well. I was feeling good last night. I changed the time control to 15 minutes start time instead of 20. And I don't think it made a lot of difference for the players. But I felt like my time pressure wasn't quite as bad as usual. The players were in a little more time pressure as opposed to me, which felt better. Dragon B70. You see new sub badges? No. You probably just didn't notice before. Why did I play E6 here? It's a move, just I don't think that's my normal move. Normally I play knight B6 in that position. Whatever. No Dragon 70, I don't know. We don't have any new sub badges. Just the ones that have been there for a while. You probably just didn't know. I have an ambulance sub emote. Or sub badge, I mean. Do you also think that the ambulances, you wouldn't know the difference. You don't know what an American ambulance sounds like, but it feels like the ambulances here are really, really loud. So we made an ambulance sub badge, among other things. But they've all been there for a while. Guys, check out Dragon B70. He is a streamer here on lichess 2. International Master to an admin. And he's a fellow Budapestian. We also had Schieberspieler. He's another Hungarian friend of mine. So I've got all these Hungarians into chess streaming. Any thoughts about Kasparov performance? I don't really care about Blitz and Rapid, but yeah, my thought is, like, he has no business playing in tournaments like that. He only wants to promote himself. He didn't prepare. He didn't practice. He obviously isn't playing chess. So, it's a typical kind of thing that makes me kind of ill, It's like Anand playing in the World Championship just to collect a paycheck or something. It's a ridiculous publicity stunt. It's surprising how bad he did. You wouldn't think he would be possible of doing that badly. It is kind of shocking. But honestly, like, if you're not going to put some time into at least practicing, obviously, he just wants to be relevant, but without really putting any effort in. It seems kind of lame. Anand is not a tourist only at the World Championship level. But Anand plays, it's clear. Especially Blitz and Rapid. He always loved Blitz and Rapid. Why he kept playing the same variation? So he got killed in the Najdorf. But how did he do so bad with white? I mean, the guy only had a half point out of 9. How could a former maybe greatest player in the world, and he's not that old, right? What is he, like 60? How could he like score even no points with white? Absolutely no preparation, I guess. I mean, I guess people are just getting really much stronger in Blitz than they used to be because of the internet, specifically. Speed-wise, and playing strength-wise too. But he should play like in the Rapid, not in the Blitz, clearly. If anything. But it's sad, Just keep your reputation intact. When I was a kid, there was this baseball player from Philadelphia. He was like one of the greatest left-handed pitchers of all time. Steve Carlton. And he retired and then tried to come back a few years later. But he was like a shadow of himself. He sort of like destroyed his reputation. It's very rare that a player tries to make some sort of comeback, but this isn't even really a comeback. This is more like a kind of boxing promotion style thing. Maybe next Kasparov can play like Logan Paul or something. I mean, that would be the next. Kasparov does chess boxing with Logan Paul. Or whatever, Jake Paul. Whatever those YouTube guys are. No, I mean, I thought it was weird that he even previously did the St. Louis. His results there weren't as disastrous, so no one really said anything. Ever since forever, anything Kasparov's done has seemed kind of weird. Playing some silly exhibition match with Nigel Short. Does anyone remember that, for example? Can you please leave me alone, Mule Skinner? It's driving me crazy here. I don't know what to do. How do I get out of this? Damn it. He's got me like paralyzed. I can never like offer a trade of material or anything. I didn't see your channel trailer. What is it? Well, I was sort of sickened when Kasparov agreed to that exhibition match with Short. You know, why make Nigel Short relevant? And that was years ago. The first match was already weird because Kasparov, it didn't feel like Short was good enough to play for the World Championship all those years ago when he freakishly beat Anatoly Karpov in the candidates match. I thought that was just like a totally freak result that never should have happened. Alright. But Kasparov had easy matches. You know, he played Nigel Short. You know, it was weird. He had relatively easy match against Anand for the World Championship. After Karpov, he had it easy. Then he voluntarily retreated, handing over the World Championship to Kramnik almost without trying. You know, the whole end of his career is very strange, I have to say. Basically, like the last 20 years of Kasparov's career, starting with everything after Karpov, it just seems weird. You know, he had kind of no competition, and then just gave Kramnik the World Championship without even trying. And now he wants to be relevant again. Alright, we've got the match with the computer is another thing. I'll never believe that was real. I know that I'm a conspiracy theory lover, but I don't believe the Deep Blue Kasparov match was legit. You know, I think that was a setup. Goblin Pawn Shop. Finally, we're running out of subscribers. Guys, how's our time? We have enough for... But Dragon B, why did you ask about your trailer? Is it specific to something, or you just generally want me to see it? Just want me to check it out? Or was it relevant to a specific thing? I'm happy to check it out. But I didn't know if it was related to something we were talking about now. Alright. We'll check it out. Not related here, okay. Not just about like accusing the engine of using human assistance. I think Kasparov threw the match. You know, I suspect he was paid to lose by IBM. This is wildly speculative. Not something I made up, you know. There are other title players who felt it too. But it's not proven. You know, this is a very speculative opinion I have about that match. Not that much evidence. I just don't like the last game. That was very strange. I don't believe it. Just so much for IBM to gain in terms of publicity by beating Kasparov. It almost looked like, and at the time my comment was this: Kasparov lost the last game against the computer so stupidly, it almost looked like he was trying to, like, you know, make it obvious so people wouldn't doubt his his true strength. No, like here, you guys who are cognoscenti can see that I'm not really trying. You know, I'm gonna just take a dive here. We will check out the trailer. Dragon B. B. The B is for dragon. Alright, knight f4. Anyway, I'm really going back in time. Talking about Kasparov Deep Blue. Not relevant now anymore. It was like a boxer who took a dive and he wanted everyone to know that he was taking a dive, who was smart enough to understand that. But IBM was happy. You know, they got what they wanted. You know, a few years later, like, it wouldn't have been a question. But at that time, it didn't seem like the computer was necessarily stronger than Kasparov. We're talking about the mid-90s, when the engines weren't that good yet, compared to today. It was supercomputer, it was a special thing, but I still am very suspicious. Of course, Kasparov would never ever, even on his grave, you know, on his deathbed, admit to it if he did drop that match on purpose. Never in a million years. I miss the 90s too. It was a better time. A simpler time. Man, Rook E1 from Goblin Pawn Shop. Playing the solid positional chess. I don't know what to do. I guess G6, A6, Rook E8. You know, I don't know why I played Castle, because I normally don't do that. So I got stuck in a variation I just generally don't play here. Mr. Coffee. It's a Kolikonowski reversed almost. You missed the mid-90s? Yeah. That was like the peak of my, well, my youth, let's say. The end of my youth. It would be great to be young again. Alright, people. I'm not going to get to all these challenges. Definitely not the last one. Great Lazarus, the 100, and Sibi Chess. I am going to play 1 or 2 more games, max. So I don't know, man. Goblin Pawn Shop. He's got the very subtle opening going on. That Queen F3. You certainly know some stuff about the Nimzo. The early 60s. I missed the 60s altogether, man. I'm not that old. I don't normally like to play this type of structure. I don't like D5 based structures. This looks pretty good for white. Very positional. Padre Antoni is here. Talked about you today. Subscribe, tier 1, 20 months. Thank you guys. Thank you, Tony. And Tony. I was saying how you got your first FIDE rating. We were talking about FIDE ratings and first FIDE ratings. and how you did well in a tournament and didn't necessarily get a very high starting rating. I have a new conspiracy theory about FIDE that they want people to start with low rating, so they have to pay to play in more tournaments to earn a higher rating. You had exams this morning. You actually dropped my national rating. So explain that. That sounds like something U.S. Chess Federation would do. Your national rating dropped without playing? That's new. Goblin pawn shot, man. I mean, you seem kind of subtle here. I am frozen. Check him out. 1623, and he plays like Petrosian or something. Dude, this is too much. If I can only trap his queen. But I can't. And I don't know what to do. It's really irritating. '94. Yeah, I would like to play longer time controls myself. But for the streaming purposes, I started out doing like 15-minute games when I first started streaming. I would like it better too, but just no one would get to play. There aren't enough games. We wouldn't get enough games, for people to play. Sadly. So I found 94. If not for that, I had nothing going. Now it looks pretty good. Now it's looking good. Queen takes pawn, grab pawn. Grab pawner. It's kind of greedy. I mean, the pawn's not going anywhere. I try not to be materialistic, but a central pawn is still a big pawn. So in Italy, the starting rating is 1440. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't like the system where there is a starting rating. It's an absurd concept. It shouldn't be an arbitrary starting rating. I disagree with the whole idea. Everyone is different. I can play online, get to master level, and be like 2200 strength. Another little kid might be 100 strength, Lichess has the what? The 1500 starting rating? Sort of. Man, I really don't know what to do. Why does there have to be this arbitrary number at all? I'm not an expert on math, but so as soon as your FIDE rating 7th and 13th came in, I dropped 70 elo without losing a game. It's crazy. Now he's got more tricks. What? I can't even develop my pieces. He's 1600 in Blitz. Finally a mistake. Wow. Man, he's good for his rating. Yeah, 1890 is more like it. And you're not slow either. You've had a time advantage the entire game. Here's a combative move as well. Whoa. I just hung a piece. I just hung a piece and he didn't see it. What am I thinking there? So just maybe like a matter of panicking? Other than that, you're much stronger than 1600. I think the problem is that you're just like panicking when the time gets low. That's not really indicative of your actual strength. It's more like psychological. I panicked a little bit there too, just dropping a piece. You have to get used to playing in time pressure, and then you'll be like less nervous and just not drop material, because your general strength is higher, you know. It's just a matter of panic. But remember, when there's a 3-second increment or when there's an increment time control, it's not the same. Alright, please no begging for subs on the stream. It's totally uncool. Hate when people do that. Last game. I've got to go, guys. This is gonna take a while, so against a good player, I expect to take 10 minutes, maybe more. I've got to leave it at 1:15 at the latest. But if time freaks you out, then you should play with increment, not sudden death. And you were freaking out at the end of the game as if you were playing with a sudden death time control. Just remember, you're getting 3 seconds. You know, you can just about have enough time with 3 seconds. You don't have to lose on time. So you get used to it after a while. But I feel like your game is much better than your actual rating. Until you were down to 10 seconds, you played well. Padron and Tony is being sarcastic. He knows how much I like bullet chess. You don't have to go that far. You know, just play like this time control, 5+3. You know, okay, if you want to play faster, 3+2 is fine. If you want to play a little slower, 10+2 would be like rapid. Is a good time control. I think the 10+2 rapid. Yoo-ho! We're just leaving. Thanks for being a subscriber and joining us today. I really should do streaming later, but due to lessons and stuff, I kind of have to start earlier, and I think we get more viewers if it was like 1 or in the afternoon like this. Ideally. Yuho, thank you for joining us. Yeah, again, sorry I have to leave. Now it's basically like a weird stone wall by black. Sure, if A3 is a good move. Objectively. The knight on a6 is misplaced. Yeah, what am I doing here? Alright, let's just exchange this. Sometimes you can allow black to take on f4. Take with the g pawn. I had one bad experience where I lost a horrible game doing that once. I will typically play that structure though. It was a Bogo Indian, which became like a Dutch, which is kind of unusual. Normally black wouldn't set up like so many white square pawns in a Bogo, typically. Usually you put the pawns on, you're more playing for dark square pawns. But white setup is effectively a Catalan in this sense. Wow, b5. Feisty. Still working. I thought they were on lunch break. Maybe they just got back from their lunch break. My roof is under construction. Poor guys, though. They were up there working when it was like 100 degrees the other day. I don't think you want to be roofing in 100-degree Fahrenheit temperature. I feel sorry for the guys, like their bosses. We had the whole spring they could have done it. They're probably doing some other project. But man, that's death-defying. I would think they would just stop, you know, in the middle of the day and then come back in the afternoon or something. But it seems like it gets hotter here in the early evening than like 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock is the hottest part of the day. Last game, guys. Appreciate everybody coming by to play. I got to decline our last challenge. Weird sort of Bogo. I gotta go. So e4, rook b3. Seems to have counterplay. I don't know what else to do though. I mean, every principle says that white should be better here. He's weakened his kingside with f6. Appreciate everybody coming by to Empty Talk. You have 90 Fahrenheit? Seriously? In Finland? Oh my god. Dude, that's crazy. We lost our humidity. Yeah, in the city it's bad. Here in Budapest it's bad. The concrete radiates. The building probably even radiates. The roof, I don't know how they can like stand up there. Our humidity isn't as bad as it was today. A little better. Because it rained yesterday. How about temperatures in Italy? Are you proud of your Italian victory in the Euro? Oh my god, he has knight d3. What? What? That's an interesting move to come up with. Wow. Unbelievable. Saving his entire position. It's a great Lazarus. Insanely strong player. I completely missed it. Now another tactic with rook a3. His pieces are perfectly coordinated. Amazing. From the stone, a bad stone wall, he makes this work. Now rook takes a3 may not be good. But I completely missed knight d3. Absolutely 100% overlooked. Now he has rook a3. Defending everything. Conveniently. Isn't that convenient? I appear to be threatening rook d4, but I'm sure he'll have some sort of miraculous way out of that as well. Sort of sidestepping move. Let's see, bishop f5, rook d4. So yeah, the side steps while keeping pressure on f2. It's like a circus act, man. When do the clowns and the he can keep everything protected. I can't attack that anymore. I would say if Great Lazarus's play is so oriented to tactical play, as it appears here, you're playing the absolutely wrong style of opening for your style of play. I mean, it appears like you're stringing tactics together constantly, every single move. That's what your play is based on. But you're playing like a closed BOGO with black. If you play like that based on tactics, you're cheating yourself, because like you should be playing open games. That'll be my take. Your game tactically seems really good. You're playing the wrong kind of position. Anyway, just a take. I will see everybody later. Back on Tuesday night. I've got to create a rapid arena. Rapid arena Tuesday. Rapid Swiss. We could do an arena for fun, but maybe that would be better for Blitz. Rapid Swiss Tuesday. Mr. Coffee, we could do maybe not this week, maybe next week. I've got another stream before another week before my tournament. starts. Maybe the following Tuesday we can have a poll, or the following week we can do a poll and have the not this one but the next week be a thematic tournament. I know Schieberspieler likes that. Okay, everybody, we'll see you Tuesday night. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing. Number of resubs today. Appreciate it. We'll see everybody Tuesday night, 6:30. It will be 6:30 CEST or 6:45 tournament start CEST. Tuesday, Rapid, Swiss. Thanks, Dragon B70, and I will check out your trailer later, guys. Bye bye.